I think dating has become some bullshit. Like, dating is really some bullshit. At this point, you can't online date, you can't offline date, you can't date in person, you can't date over the phone. Like, what is wrong with this generation of men? What is wrong with this generation of men? And I ain't saying there's no good men out there, because I'm not one of them women. Yeah, it's a few good men out there, but most of y'all, this dating pool is tainted. It's tainted real bad. They don't make men no more. Like, what is going on? Where are our great granddaddies at? Because they don't make them no more. Like,
It's always something wrong with the men. The women are so perfect and can do no wrong. Dating is a joke because women made it that way. You women make it so hard for us to even look at you. You're toxic as hell. Men need to stop dealing with crazy-ass women.
When you're in Paris and everyone assumes that you must be surrounded by such hot men, the only man that I've seen on this trip was druggies, ugly, dumb men, or just a bunch of girl groups, couples, and somehow the cutest guys that I've seen here that were entertaining were the waiters. Make it make sense.
The men are simply minding their business and keeping their money to themselves. Since our money is no longer enough for us to be in a relationship, we're focusing on ourselves now.
When men stop approaching you, when you stop getting countless of just random DMs from men, you've made it. You've reached that girl level, the baddest of baddists of bitches. When you don't get approached by men. Yeah. When you have this intimidating aura of this woman who respects and loves herself, like this woman who, yeah, you can't play with her. Oh, I feel it from the way she speaks, how she is as a person, and yeah, that is when you know. It's honestly a really, good thing when you don't get approached. Yeah, period.
When you don't get approached by men, it has nothing to do with you being intimidating. The men just saw that you weren't worth the risk. Approaching a woman is a huge risk nowadays. Few men take the risk if they think you're worth it.
There was a little girl that was recently kidnapped in Arkansas, and she was like 13 years old, and she asked the men, can you help me? Can you help me? She went to 2 different places. None of the men helped her. In most situations, I actually don't feel like men are protectors. I feel like men are protective over things that they feel like they own. I don't genuinely feel like most men are just like, oh, I'm going to be a knight in shining armor. In fact, in most situations where I've had aggressive men speak to me in aggressive ways, the people that have stood out to me the most have gone like, they've been women for me. Like, I don't feel a sense of protection when men are around.
Do you think society promotes that, though? Do you think the way that women, not just women, but I guess society in a whole, they discourage men from wanting to step in and protect and do all these other things because you see so many, I guess, downsides for it when a guy steps in, the way that he does it or the way that he's protected somebody, society is blaming him for, doing it in an incorrect way or whatever it may be. What also kind of shines a light on that is the times that you do see when people call domestic violence situations, those like, yeah, that guy's a man, he has testosterone, he's, probably physically stronger than a lot of those people. That doesn't mean he's a strong man. Like that's a weak dude that's sitting there causing violence and trauma onto certain people. But when you see a lot of society discourage men from being in, I guess, that traditional role of being a protector, that's probably why you see a lot of men not doing that now, is because they are discouraged to do so.
And that's where I get back to my point. That is a weak mindset in my opinion.
If having a weak mindset is going to keep me out of jail for helping a female, then I'm a weak, good-for-nothing man. Thank you very much.
You know what? I wouldn't consider myself a traditional person, but maybe I am when it comes to dating, especially first dates. I'm like currently going back and forth with this guy. I'm gonna stop about how like this guy thinks it's crazy. He's like, you expect a stranger to pay for your meal? I'm like, yeah. Actually, you know what? I do. If this stranger is trying to woo me and asked me to go to this date, to this meal, like I can go out and buy my own dinner anytime. If I'm going on a date, it's like because I was asked and like that person's interested in me to like see where things go, you would think that they'd want to woo you. Like that's what I would do. If I asked someone out on a date, I'm full sending, like, I don't care if I have to empty out my bank account to like take care of that whole bill. Are you kidding me? Like, don't ask someone on the date, weirdo.
They are only traditional when it's time to be paid for. Bring back the women worth yearning for. Bring back women that don't see men as free meal tickets.
When your Tinder date catfishes you, so you make her book a Uber to wherever the fuck she came from.
I've been saying it. We need special jail time for fat women that catfish men. What the hell is that?
And I think I'm picky because, like, I can't imagine having a partner and I'm like, damn, babe, we should go on a trip. And he like, you got trip money? Right. Let's break up.
God forbid a man doesn't have money to burn on a woman that can leave him at the slightest inconvenience. Black women are just too broke and woke.
A black woman complained that the man next to her didn't do anything after she accidentally hurt her foot at the gym, and the gym's subsequent actions were shocking. The woman had just finished a workout and casually dropped a handle from a machine. The handle landed on her foot. She was only wearing socks and no shoes, and she cried out in pain. A man nearby was exercising alone. He looked over after hearing her shout, but then continued his workout. The woman became upset and said the man showed no concern. She argued that he should have come over to check if she was hurt and show basic care. She later filed a complaint with the gym about his behavior. The man did not argue with her and tried to ignore the situation. However, he was surprised when gym staff asked him to leave. Staff told him he failed to show mutual help to another member. The man now says he was treated unfairly and is preparing to sue the gym.
America's legal system is truly broken. What was he supposed to do? He's not a gym doctor. If he had helped, he would have been 2 steps close to jail. We can't win.
What is wrong with men? They have lost the art of approaching.
I happen to disagree. A lot of guys still approach women. However, there are a lot of guys out there that simply don't want to approach certain types of women.
Like, if we make eye contact, and we make eye contact multiple times, that is your sign. That is your sign that I am interested, that the girlies are interested, and that is your sign for you to come up to us and talk to us, because that is the okay.
Maybe one of the women who understands this type of thinking can explain this to me, because it doesn't make any sense. Why are you expecting guys to pick up on subtle hints when the use of these simple little things called words could really alleviate any miscommunication, and then the guy would actually know for certain that you're interested? Doesn't seem that hard.
I made eye contact so many times with this one guy, kept fucking looking at me, and I kept looking at him. Nothing. It's like, okay, so like, you're not gonna say anything, bro? So like, do women have to do the approaching nowadays? Because that's not happening. If you think that's what's gonna happen, that's not what's gonna happen.
Well then, it's abundantly clear that there had better be a lot of women that are mentally prepared to remain apparently not so happily single, because they expect men to uphold certain gender roles only when it suits the women's purpose. But welcome to equality. If you want a relationship, perhaps you might have to put in some work in order to get one.
How do I say this? Just because you're interested doesn't mean men are interested. We don't want to be involved with women anymore. How is that so difficult to understand?
Andrea Dworkin once said that it is an agony for women to be fully conscious of the brutal misogyny that permeates every part of culture and personal relationships. And honestly, for me, the day that I realized I was a feminist and I just saw the patriarchy for what it was, I have never been able to unsee that, and it affects every single thing I do. Once you form this awareness as a woman of the way that men hate women, it is so difficult to exist in a way that isn't in rebellion of that, to exist in a way that isn't making a point all the time. And she was so right in saying that women are socialized to not realize these things, because the minute you realize it, it's damaging, it's debilitating, it's so all-consuming and so depressing and sad, and it just sucks. Then obviously you as a woman want to live your life and enjoy your life, so you have to figure out where you stand on these things, and also just has to go in the world and interact with men. I have to find a way to like reconcile these feelings and exist. But it's so hard when you have this realization about the world. She says something else where she says that women under patriarchy are a victim, and all daughters, past, present, and future, are a victim. We have such a huge responsibility as women, and men have the same responsibility, but God knows that they don't want to do anything about it.
Just notice how vague this entire video is. This can be summed up as her saying, there's patriarchy, I'm upset. There was no actual information delivered whatsoever. In reality, there are no laws exclusively afforded to men that are not afforded to women. In the eyes of the government, in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of the general populace, we are the same. Not only are we the same, but men are seen as down here. Oh, men are trash, I don't need no man. Men are useless. This is the entire narrative. That's what it is. And genuinely where I think this comes from is they are just told that they are a victim. There's no actual victimization going on. It is genuine, just they're told that they have been a victim their entire life. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. I'm not a billionaire. I don't have a family. I'm not an astronaut. I am a victim. Oh my God. My life didn't turn out exactly how I fantasize it. It must be someone else's fault because it couldn't be mine. And a lot of this brainwashing just stems from history, okay? But we're talking decades ago, centuries ago. There you can actually make an argument for mass misogyny. At least it would be much easier to, but not in today. You cannot make that argument today because there is this huge habit amongst feminists where all they do is just quote the past. They don't have anything to talk about in today's day and age.
America will have to open their borders again. Most of this generation is not going to reproduce. The American education system is the cause for the downfall of America.
So now that 2026 is coming up, do you think that for the New Year's resolution, we could bring back real men? Can we do it? Because I remember there was a time where men used to go to war and like they would fight with swords and full body armor. And now today we have men taking dark exposure Insta pics, wearing a social media killed romance t-shirt and cheetah bandanas. Or like when you're at the club or the wherever the fuck, and they're on top of the stage in the promoter section. Cause are you a bad bitch or am I? Cause what are we doing? So let's bring back real men. Let's do it. I'm praying. Can we do that? Can we leave social media to the real bad bitches and the men go back out and work? Because why aren't y'all getting your hands dirty? Instead, you're in settings, adjusting your picture.
Let's bring back loving, caring, traditional feminine women. We really need to bring back women that deserve men like that because this generation is chalked.
If you ask for my number and I tell you that I want money as a deterrent, and I say I want 2K tonight, and then you're like, oh, give me a few days. Like, no, you don't have money. I don't want to give you my number. So just take the hint. Just, someone's walking away from you. It kind of clearly means that they don't want to speak with you, that it's not reciprocal. But why do you think it's okay to be, let's say, chasing? Like, it's just disgusting. Brother, ooh, what's that? Brother, ooh, what's that? Just take the hints and just go about your business. Like, it's disgusting predatory behaviour. And men think it's okay to do this and continue to do it. And they don't see an issue with it. Women will never wind down their car windows, ask men for their number, and be chasing them down the road or harassing. But yet, men like to do this.
Honestly, I blame the man that caused her to set up a camera and disturb my evening. I blame Shara7 for making these women think they can have stupid standards and be irrational. Why are these guys not validating us? Why don't they let us reject them to feel good about ourselves? Stupid main character syndrome. Those men are having fun and they don't give a fuck about you.
This is super embarrassing, but I used to think a night out would be a failure if no guy gave me any attention. I could be out with my closest friends, I could be having so much fun, I could look really good, but if by the end of the night I didn't ever speak to a guy didn't even talk to me, anything, I would feel like, what was the point in that? I'm broken, like, no one likes me, like the world is ending.
Time and time again, these women show that attention is truly a drug they can't live without. They're obsessed with male validation to the extent that it stinks.
Men, y'all do realize that dating is an open book test, right? Like, there are so many romance novels or romance-centered books that all of the girls and all of the women are reading nowadays. It's a cheat sheet for what a woman wants. Oh, well, they're written by women, so it's like not realistic. That's kind of the point. They're written by women, so this is more reliable information for knowing what a woman is looking for in a man. And that's not to say that, like, a girl who's reading a dark romance novel about a possessive stalker, that doesn't mean she wants a stalker. It means that she wants a man who cares so much about her personal life to keep tabs on her.
There is a reason things happen in books and not in real life. These books sell because the readers, women, are so delusional. The authors are literally feeding off your delusion. Why are women so blind to this fact?
A hill I will die on is that situationship culture needs to die. It needs to go. You're basically in a relationship but with no commitment and no right to be upset about anything at all. And then you've somehow invented the worst of both worlds and gave it a name like that makes it okay. The talking stage alone of a situationship should be classified as a psychological experiment. Texting someone every day, you know their sleep schedule, you know their coffee order, you know their childhood trauma. But are you together? No. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And you're not allowed to ask either. Can't say what you actually want from them because it's too much and it'll scare them away. You just sit there and hope they figure it out. They never figure it out, do they? Then, one of you catches feelings and the other one says they need space. Space from what exactly? You're not even dating. You're not dating, you're just two people making each other insane. Oh, and here's my personal favorite part. And then it ends and you have to grieve someone that you never technically had. There's no breakup, there's no closure, nothing at all. Just a text usually saying, I need to focus on myself, or we shouldn't do this anymore. Again, making each other insane. And then they go off and get a girlfriend or a boyfriend in the next 3 weeks, probably get married and have kids and have babies, and you sit there wondering for the rest of your life why it couldn't be you. I still sleep with my teddy bear from my childhood. Does anything about me say that I can do casual? Let that one sink in.
You women literally introduced situationships to us. You wanted to have sex with different men without a tag to it. It's not our fault that we're dancing to your tune. Anyway, that's all for today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also, click on the notification bell to know when I drop a new video. Bye.